Hey, what's up, gang? Kawaii50 here with another Fate Grand Order video. Now, this one was prompted by the release of Mordred's costume on NA, which a lot of people are hype about, and for good reason. I unfortunately cannot partake because I do not have Mordred yet, but when this costume was released, I was like, it's about damn time. I really feel like this should have just been in the game when she was released. And then I started to think and ponder and think again. And I was like, wait, there's actually a lot of costumes like that in Fate in general. Costumes that really, why haven't these shown up in the game? Why haven't these shown up in this celebration of the Fate franchise, the Fate lore? Things that I just know as someone who has enjoyed Type Moon for years. Even the most casual Type Moon fan would know this. If any of the things I'm about to talk about with you came out on FGO, people would be hype as hell for those things. So I'm gonna go ahead and go over just a few of those I thought of off the top of my head earlier today. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you agree with even one of these things, you are legally obligated to like and subscribe. This first one is easily the most obvious out of my entire pack, but Artoria's suit from Fate Zero. Y'all know how Fate Zero is. I don't care how you personally feel about it, whether you're in the this is peak Fate media or the this is overhyped garbage camp. I really like Fate Zero, so I'm just going to be public about that. But why don't we have Artoria in the suit? It's ridiculous. This suit is suave as hell, and giving us an Artoria suit costume with her riding her motorcycle, I guarantee would generate a ton of buzz in the community. They had the perfect opportunity to release this too with the Fate Zero event, and they still didn't do it. I get it. It was an earlier event. Costumes weren't really being implemented at that time, but come on, Type Moon. We have reached this point. Release the Fate Zero event as a permanent Rare Prism event, and finally give us the suit Artoria so many of us really want. My next mention is quite possibly my favorite Gilgamesh costume across all Fate media, and this shows up as some sweet DLC in Fate X Stella, which is a pretty fun game and you should totally play it. This is Gilgamesh's Uruk costume, and just look at how cool this thing is. The flowing red robe, all of the jewelry, the dapper sash, the earrings. There's just so much about this costume to love, and I feel like Gil stands would definitely be here for it. Yes, I used some Gen Z lingo to talk about Gilgamesh. Call me an old man, I don't care. It was just the first thing that came to mind. Give us this sweet Gilgamesh costume so Gil can finally be suave as heck. Because we all know you're not giving us the End of Babylonia costume anytime soon, even though that'd be super easy. My next mention's for our boy, Berserker Lancelot, and this one is so easy. You may have saw recently on JP, we got Odysseus with the helmet. So I posit to you, why not Lancelot without the helmet? Lancelot without the helmet just looks so cool, and that helmet crack at the end of Fate Zero was just so hype finally seeing this man's face. You can even go super crazy with the expressions in the Noble Phantasm. Give us a bulging-eyed, screaming Lancelot, screaming Arthur at the top of his lungs. I'd scream it myself, but I'm liable to hurt my voice. Next, I obviously need to mention Tamamo, the best playable servant from Fate Extra, and specifically her new caster costume that she ended up receiving in those games. The tiny little hat is super cute. There's just so much here to love about Tamamo's design, and Tamamo fans, I feel, would definitely be all for it. We're all willing to go in on 2 different Koyanskayas, so why wouldn't people be excited about a Tamamo costume itself? When we do eventually get this costume, if we eventually get this costume, why don't you go ahead and maybe throw a buff Tamamo's way? She is long overdue for another one. And I actually left this one for last because I feel like this is actually the one that's going to get people the most hype, and it is this alternate costume for Francis Drake. And this is actually a fairly recent thing for NA to experience, because we had her in a costume pretty much just like this in the Atlantis Lost Belt. So why wouldn't they give us that costume along with the Atlantis Lost Belt? I really couldn't tell you. But there's so many options out there for Drake's costumes. She's got this, she's got Dahut. There's so much potential in awesome Francis Drake costumes. But if I had to pick between Dahut and this, I would definitely opt for this. This is the cooler Drake costume by far. But anyways, those are my big recommendations for Fate Grand Order costumes we honestly should have by now. And I want to know, are there any you think are really, really long overdue to include in the game? I know probably a lot of the Camelot Summer Servants are going to easily get mentioned, as well as a couple of others that have shown up in events. So why don't you go ahead and let me know down in the comment section below what other costumes are long, long overdue. Be vocal as much as you possibly can while being nice and civil, and maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to see some of these costumes in FGO down the line, and maybe they won't even cost a rare prism. But I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you want to talk more FGO, of course my Discord server is always open. I want to give a big thanks to the patrons on Patreon, subscribers and followers on Twitch, and of course all of you on YouTube, because if it wasn't for your support, I wouldn't be motivated to make these videos. But anyways, gang, that's all I got. This is Kawaii50, hoping you all have a phenomenal day. I'll see y'all in the next video.